Hey everyone, with a third Wonder Woman now in development for the near future, close of the trilogy, here's my spoiler review of Wonder Woman 1984. Let's open it up. The film opens a prologue of young Diana is hung up with Themyscira, which is taking part in a massive competition. Though she doesn't come out on top, despite her skills, she's told in view of her suit golden armor. Nothing good is born from lies, greatness is not what you think. We have our arc warriors for the movie already, and I must say, even watching this at home, I really love Matthew Jan's cinematography in this film. Hans Zimmer also adds to his fantastic scores for DC and other superhero films, and was a good choice to take the reins from Harry Gregson once with the music. Then transition to Washington DC in the year 1984, and tears blurring the words King Tycoon Maxwell Lord, played Pedro Pascal. I really love how the film portrays action scene in a shopping mall. My favorite day in the decade saw the release of 3 to 4 original Superman films and Tim Burton version of Batman. Smack's portrayal of a corrupt businessman surrounded by gold and overpriced suit and a flock of seagulls haircut. Make your own assumptions. Another aspect I love is the costume design of Lindy Hemming. It goes all in on the 80s aspects, not just the Diana supersuit, but the white collar jazzercise artists and the business suits with shoulder pads. It's the little details in this opening fight I really enjoy, from the old DQ logos to people playing Operation Wolf in the arcade. The other side of the coin, this movie is definitely not shy about depicting the Northwest dynamics of core era worldview of the time. Want proof? Winter's Diana's colleague Barbara Minerva, played by Christine Wiig, who lacks the confidence that comes naturally to Diana. Even knowing what lies ahead, it's interesting to see what the movie does as a character, and I'll explain more later. Right now, one of the adverts starts recovering the opening heist at the Golden Dreamstone to grant the holdout Emma's desire at a price. The film even likens it to the story of the monkey's paw, and we'll come back to that. At a lunch meeting together, the two become friends, especially after an encounter with a would-be drunken mugger. Max Smithsonian, Barbara examines the stone, wishing to be like Diana while in view of a stuffed cheetah. The next day, she seems more confident, especially she meets Mr. Lord, saying life is good, but it can be better. I will say that Pascal is really good at playing villains. While Max isn't a nice guy in the comic either, his arc in this movie is completely insane. The way he looks at the stone is quite ominous, though he does point out appearances by donating large sums to museum's funding. Once again, make your own assumptions. And especially have no common subplot with his adopted son, Alistair. His investor, her Simon, is less enthused, even as Max making a play for oil rights around the world. Simon gives Max 40 hours to make good on his investment, or he's pulling out. Sometimes it's the simplest motivation to appreciate. As Barbara gets another new look, Diana decides to go to the Investors Gala as Welcome to the Pleasure Dome by Frank Goes to Hollywood plays in the background music. Just like these pop tunes blend with Hans Zimmer's scores, Max has begun making a play for Dreamstone. Figures. After Marvel spent over a decade basing their story around the Enchanted Stones, I guess now it's DC's turn. Though Diana isn't one for socializing, she changed her mind when a familiar face gives her a gold watch. It's Steve Trevor played by Chris Pine. I was wondering how the movie's going to make this plot that work, and it does lead to some very interesting moments. Again, had no comment on the body being used as a vessel for Steve, credited simply as Handsome Man, played by character actor Christopher Poloha. I will say I like the reversal of the dynamic from the previous film, was now being Steve's turn to just an unfamiliar place and time. Elsewhere, Max wishes to gain the stone's power, and the film does a great job exploring the old saying, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. As Barbara goes to work out, Max not only apologizes to Simon but turns his own threats against him to buy him out. Also, that Simon Stagg, another corrupt DCU business villain. Note to self, finish Beware the Batman, since that's on here for Max as well. Might finish reviewing that in the near future too. Back with Steve and Diana, I once again like the cascade of 80s fashions that head back out to Washington, in the verse of the last movie with Steve being in awe of his new surroundings with Diana. Elsewhere, Max has a slew of new investors and hires, with his wish starting off like any great snake oil salesman. Steve and Barbara introduced, and when Diana asks about the stone, Minerva lets slip about Max having it. And we'll note that even though I hope they will improve at the last, the scenes in Max's office and in DC already had differently than first thing at Christmas time. Anyway, Diana tells Barbara to find out where the stone came from, and Steve finds info on Max heading to Cairo. They need to get there, and we now get the scene with Diana's visible jet. I was wondering how they're going to work that in from the comic and other adaptations, but they found a way. It has a cloaking device that hides a plane from sight and radar, along with other distractions like Diana's powers. Barbara's also finished work. Her decides to get back at the drunk who tried to mug her the other night. Buddy, I think you have a problem. Now we get the movie's Cairo sequence, and while the subplot is merely divisive, if I'm being totally honest, it's no worse than how Egypt was depicted in actual films in the 1980s, nor more recent depictions of the Abu Dhabi sequence Furious 7. As I said before, I was not excited about depicting Cold War era tensions at all. Also, it won't be the last time this comes up either. Right now, this leads to the chase on the Cairo roads, and while not quite the game changer the No Man's Land scene was in the last movie, I really like how much one depicts Diana weaving, fighting through the security detail, just like a fusion Sarah Connor made of the Retin. Though she does get hurt, she's still built like a Greek Olympian, can flip an armored truck like it's a Matchbox car. Diana confronts Max, who reveals his fuse with the Dreamstone, narrowly evading an accident as Diana saves a couple kids in the road. However, Max has gotten his wish of controlling the oil as Barbara has found out the stone has ill effects to our history. Talking to a shaman, contact the Galaxy Records as Diana and see return to mainland. The shaman, whose name is Frank by the way, reveals the stone is indeed cursed, with Steve coming in only the monkey's paw analogy. One of the ways to undo the curse are destroy the stone or announce the wish it grants. Set the stakes for the remainder of the film. While many believe it's a plot hole, I can affirm as someone who's familiar with the monkey's paw story is actually not much of a stretch. Likewise, since Max is bonded with the stone, he too has become willing to do anything to keep his gains. Just combine Lex Luthor with Jordan Belfort and you've got him. This leads to the twofold conflict to stop the chaos. Either Max must die, or everyone must pronounce their wishes. As Max makes his way to the White House, Diana goes to get ready to confront him as Steve finds the watch he left Diana. The way Steve speaks with Diana her apartment is pretty heavy foreshadowing, though it does have the benefit of showing Diana now has answers to Amazonian golden armor. Given recent events, the scene Max and the President and the ensuing fight in the White House is pretty spectacular. All I can say is about a week off of my 9-year reflections. Diana tries to get to Max, but she's impeded by Barbara, now the cheetah. Like a punk rocker and Animal Prince, she calls her former friend, saying you always had everything, but like me, I've had nothing, now it's my turn. That's where the monkey's paw comparison really comes into play. They'll have their wishes granted, but with a catch. Barbara is stronger and more confident, but her compassion and humanity have been lost. With a little over a half hour left, Steve decides to sacrifice himself again, not just for Diana, but for the world. Diana becomes the first one to announce her wish, to regain her strength and say goodbye to the one she loves. The two share one last kiss as Diana, having learned second truth, decides to confront Max. She hits a ride on a passing plane, goes ahead and bunker where Max is enacting the next phase of his plan. Figures. Skyhook isn't helping Batman question a corrupt accountant. They're helping Wonder Woman fly. Max convinces Barbara to fully become the cheetah with her wish to become an apex predator. Max grants more wishes at a price, anything from fame to royalty to everything in between. And Diana grabs armor from her study, and before she faces Max, she must face the cheetah. His face is quite impressive, and I actually really like how the film depicts Cheetah's design, combining both CGI and practical effects. It's easy to reverse the tail towards the Bombalina in the Cats movie. The fight has the two swinging on the power lines, landing nearby reservoirs, a soaked cheetah struck by a down power line. Diana used Max Lightning. It's super effective. Max has gone mad with power, going into the comm satellite mentioned earlier scene, and though Diana can't get to him directly, she's able to turn his own showmanship against him by having everyone he is reaching via satellite renounce their wish. Bathed in golden glow of her last of truth, one by one, what gives they want the most, finally convincing Max to renounce his wish. Max reconciles with Alistair, and Barbara has recovered and realized her mistakes, as well as means including the potential Legion of Doom movie. We'll see. We close on Christmas time with peace being restored to the world. For now, we get a very appearance of the handsome man. If you might not know the actor's name, his work is actually quite prolific in both TV and on film. You can stand with a cameo from the original live-action Wonder Woman, Linda Carter, by the Amazon warrior who initially wore the armor, Asteria. I really like this ending. It's actually, they'll say, a way of saying Happy Christmas, war is over. That's not how the world ended, but how it lived on. Watching this again to write this review, it's definitely one of the many works that help me and others maintain a sense of hope and optimism in a time where there's admittedly not much of a supply of either. Though I admit it's not the breath of fresh air the first film was, I still enjoyed it. I will really watch it again in the near future. Though I'm not as gung ho to get things open again as others, I still mean what I said. I personally pledge to watch the bulk of the films that interest me both theatrically and at home. On that note, the whole idea of giving up what you want the most for the greater good is definitely not a stretch in this day and age. No matter how I look at it, my personal desires not as important to me as my life. As for any other hot takes, I won't address any of them personally, but in many respects, this film reception is the reverse of Batman v Superman. While that film's detractors consider to be too dark, this one's detractors find to be too absurd. Still, as a film on its own and DC Comics adaptation, I personally say I've seen a review much worse. I still intend to keep this up as my channel nears 13 years of age and 10 years making content. I look forward to not only the third film, another DC content, but the proposed Rogue Squadron movie in the near future. Check back in March when I look at the Justice League Director's Cut. Later.